Look in verse 8. Neither shall one, here's another don't. Neither shall one thrust another, oppress, or crowd. We're one of the very few armies on the earth that kill our own wounded. So when we see a man or woman down, if we don't like them, we just push them down farther. I'd like to ask you, saints, something. If we were not in 2024, almost 25, we were in the first century. And there was a woman showed up at our church. We don't know exactly what her name was because the Bible doesn't mention her. But all we know is she has got some kind of reputation. Because she had 5 husbands and was living with another man that wasn't her own. But we heard that Jesus got a hold of her. Would Word of Life Church be okay with the woman at the well coming to our church? What about the man from Gadara who had a legion of demons in him? Drinking, lying, adultery. So many demons when they were cast out that it killed a whole herd of hogs. And every one of them demons lived in one man. But yet it just so happened that man had robbed you one time. That man had knocked your daddy in the head. That man had violated your niece. But after getting saved, that man wanted to come to church. Would we be okay with that? Or would we tell him, well, you sit out in your car and stream. You can't sit in here amongst us. Us what? Former liars, prostitutes, denominational prostitutes and everything else. I want the person in here this morning, beginning at this pulpit, who has been without sin. Hello? Testing, 1, 2, 1, 2. If any of us make it, it'll be God's grace, not our works. Not that we deserve it. So who is it that keeps us? The grace of God. I have risked my reputation many times over the years for preaching for certain preachers. The mainstream message preachers told me, don't go there, don't go there, oh, don't go there. I have risked my reputation counseling and praying for people that were so lost and such scum on the bottom of the barrel. You say, how in the world can you do that? Oh, because the prophet told us Jesus' reputation was made among such people. And I realized hadn't been for the grace of God, I could have been an adulterer, a liar, a murderer. So if we were in the first century, and our church age messenger was not Brother Branham, but it was Paul. And Paul wanted to come and preach in our church, hold a meeting. And some of y'all began to search his background. You found out this man had Stephen stoned. This man had many of the children of God thrown in jail. They were beat because of him. They were whipped. Some of them lost their lives. The prophet said the very reason Paul wanted to become a martyr was because that thing haunted him. Of all the people, Brother Philip, what he had put them through. Would if any of you all have a problem with Paul coming to hold us a meeting? Ain't it amazing how we get? We become so self-righteous, so lifted up. And we're the ones that can give people grace. And you can have grace, and you can't, and you can. Myself, I go back to the words of Jesus. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Pleiades is in the same spot that the Lord God placed her in millions of years ago. Not saying that there's not a variance of degree by which atmospheric pressure or something might make them, back and forth. But it's not like that the star from Pleiades went to Arcturus or wound up in Taurus or some of the others. I honestly can't say that myself. I've complained. I've grumbled. I still to this day wish I was not a pastor. I wish to this day I wasn't even a preacher. Because most of my problems in life has come from God's people. Being a preacher has just about destroyed me and annihilated my sanity. Welcome to the real world. But in reality, if the Lord God were to say to me this evening, okay, Donny, I heard what you told the church there. You want me to just drop this thing about the preacher deal? And we just let you go? I look up and say, now, Lord, I was only teasing, right? It's odd, isn't it? It's odd how we are. In reality, we want His will and His word more than anything else. But we're in the middle of it. Boy, it can be so hard. It can be so tough. But remember, there is a divine order. All it takes is a husband to step out of the will of God and watch that whole family. A wife to step out of the will of God. Step out of the will of God just for a period of months and cause all kinds of pain and anxiety. Same with a pastor of a church. So a pastor starts in a certain direction away from God. Can you imagine if I get so stupid, just beside myself, just out of my mind, I think, I ain't going back no more. That's what some of you all say. So if I just said, I'm done with it. I'm moving to, I ain't telling none of you because I don't want you to know where I'm going. But if I was the one God sent here to help you, then where would you go? What would happen to you and you and you? Because you see, a man that's really called of God, it's like God has put him there and being part of that constellation. Then God sends the other stars to be part of that constellation. Then another man comes in, tries to boot him out, or, they try to take people from another constellation. I don't want anybody else from any other constellation. Myself, I only want people at our church who God sends. Because if they come floating in with us and they come on their own, we're all going to be unhappy. What would happen to your life if the devil could wire me down and wire Brother Tim Pruitt down and other men of God down so low that they just think, I can't take it no more? And that star just goes out of the middle of the cluster. Oh, there's plenty of preachers. Yeah, you could get another you could have one voted in by next Sunday. But how would the constellation work? How would this be? How would that be? You see that? All right. Now you can see it from my spot. So what about yours? Well, it seems like I ain't got no friends at the church. It seems like this is going on. I think we should look for another place. I think we should go. But you'll tell me I shouldn't do that. But you look at yourself and say, well, you know what? I'm a free moral agent. Yeah, exactly. That's what's got you in so much trouble. And me and every other human being. So what we should do is say, Lord, help me. If this is my place, I'm a part of this constellation, then help me to do what I can. Let me shine. You know, there's a certain equation that scientists have come up with to be able to measure the brightness and the illumination of stars. And a lot of it has to do with distance, of course, from where we see them. But what they found out is it's the depths of the iron core and how much iron is in the core of that planet. And there are no five-pointed stars, as you know. They're all in a circle anyway. But it's because of that, and then the borrowed light reflects upon them. So the star cannot brag about anything that it's done, because whoever made it put that iron ore in its core. So the density of the iron core, we'll say, would be 27%. Then it will have the capability of catching the light. Well, there's another star out there, and it may be closer to the earth than that one is, but its density of its core is only 21% iron ore. No matter how much it tries, it will never produce the same light as the other one. So the 27% guy can't really brag to the 21% guy, I got more iron ore than you got. All he can do is shine, shine, shine back to the Creator. My goodness, if you can sing like a mockingbird this morning and everybody here just absolutely loves your singing. And maybe there's some that sings like a crow, and then sometimes they sing like this and that and the other, but they're singing with all their heart. Don't make fun of them. God's the one who gave them that much iron ore. Maybe there's preachers, boy, they can preach and they're absolutely your favorites. Boy, they get called to preach conventions and great big meetings. And then there's other little brothers, and they go here and there and never preach conventions, but risk their life. I thank God for them stars. How many wants to be what God made you? You're a part of the army, friends.